Oh, you YouTubers out there cruising around looking for videos to watch, like me, if you've stumbled onto me, you've stumbled onto free X-rated speech. And I usually rant about politics because I can. This is my soapbox. I love YouTube. You allow me to do it, so I do it. I got to get in my free speech while I can. I'm not long for this world, but I got a feeling free speech isn't long for America with the fascists in charge. Anyway, E.T. is scaring the living hell out of me. So let me get into that. Let me give you a little background on my E.T. stuff. Bottom line is, back in 93 or 94, I can't remember for sure, but I was working graveyard. I had I worked outside in a one stationary place, and that was my job. And anyway, I was walking out to my post at exactly 12 midnight, and I caught something out of the corner of my eye moving south to north. It was huge, and it was black or gray. I couldn't tell. It was in the middle of the night, and I can't remember if there was a full moon or not, but if you were looking, you would have seen it. And anyway, it goes over the hills, which are easily 20 miles away. But this thing was so huge, to give you a little perspective, it looked like it was right across the street. So anyway, the thing moved, and then it stops directly east in front of me. Right, and then it just sits there. So it's sitting there for probably about 5 minutes. That's probably shorter, but I don't know. And so anyway, after sitting there for a little bit, out of the north end of it, it drops 3 plasma balls. You've ever seen sparklers from the 50s and 60s? Look like a couple of million of them. Or if you've seen those plasma balls on like the Star Trek the motion picture. That's what it looked like. And it dropped 3 of them, right on time after the other. Count to 5, another one would drop, and another one would drop. And that's all it did, drop 3 plasma balls. Then it sat there for a little longer, and then it started just moseying on back, not in a hurry, just moseyed on back south. As soon as it got to the same point that I caught it out of my eye the first time when I walked out there, it shot east, and it elongated when it was doing it, when it accelerated. I mean, it's gone. Like it was shot out of a sniper's rifle. Nothing could have, was no living thing, not plant life, could have survived that kind of acceleration. And so anyway, 10 years later, almost exactly 10 years later, something tried to break out the bottom of my foot. And, it looked like a sliver or something like that. So I tried to, and it was very painful because it was trying to break out of my foot. So I took after it with a knife. It retreated, and then it's been somewhere in my body ever since. But it hasn't been in my foot. So I don't know what happened to it. So anyway, my point being, that brought back another memory. Back at the same time that I had my encounter there. And what it was is I woke up in the middle of the night and noticed a figure standing in the doorway of my room. I jumped up on my bed, startling it. It turned around. It had the oval eyes, had a little, what I remember to be a silver with red trim running suit, bodysuit, with a little tight-fitting helmet. And it startled, so it came back into my room and then ran around my bed. I took a swing at it, and I think my fist went through its head. I can't remember. And then it just continued on through the wall. Now, I write letters to Congress, to Senate, senators all the time. Ever since I found the internet 9 years ago, I write letters. I let the congressmen know that they're criminals. I let the senators know they're freaking criminals and robbing us blind, and I wish more Americans would get on their computers and start writing. You can do that. They all have email forms now. You can write directly to their offices. Let them know that they're the scum that they are. Anyway, and I wrote this one. I write to UFO people too and all that ever since, because I'm kind of into it, obviously. So I go to all these sites, where ET is, is everything. Ashtar Command, Galactic Federation of Light, they have one. There's just all kinds of sites with all these channelers. Idiots. Because they're fascist liberals. So they already have a political agenda when they're channeling these people, which is a real problem. But my point is, I had one reply from a guy in Washington, James Gilliland, I think is his name. I can't remember. And he answered me very matter-of-factly that, yeah, everything that I said is totally feasible. And he explained how the rapid acceleration, everything, even though it looked to me like a time jump. But he explained it all to me. And then, he left it at that. And that's fine by me, and I never wrote back or anything like that. But now I go to all these sites and everything, and what these channelers, all these ETs, Zetas, the Greys, I think, even, Orion, all these different, the Galactic Federation of Light, the tall blondes, they're all into Barry Soetoro, our president. They think he's the master who's going to bring the human race to ascension, and he's a light worker, and he's this and that, and the masses chose it. This is the biggest fraud ever committed against the country, is Barry Soetoro. And E.T. is so on his side, it's like they're saying Illuminati who put him in place and made him president. The Supreme Court illegally put an illegal alien in as president. Swore his ass in. Why is E.T. want Barry Soetoro to rule the world? Think about what I'm saying here. There's a lot of ramifications going on here. See if you can grasp it, then you might want to research. Do lots of research. Barry Soetoro and the ETs. And why are all these ETs concerned about the U.S.? It's like they're all into the U.S. Even Blossom Goodshaw, she's Australian. ETs don't really give a rat's ass about Australia. They're more into the United States. Everything's concerning the United States. And that worries me a little bit, because this is a big world. There's an awful lot of people here. But they seem concerned mostly with the U.S. And now they think that Barry Soetoro, the masses, chose him, when anybody who has any common sense coursing through their brain knows that the powers that are far beyond the masses put Barry Soetoro in as president of the United States. The masses were not needed. He was going to be it. So anyway, there you go. E.T. is scaring the living hell out of me. I didn't know that they were fascist liberals. All of them, all of those races, even the ones who went to war millions of years ago to fight over the planet and all. The reptilians want this guy in, the freaking Pleiadians, the tall blondes, the Greys, everybody's a Barry Soetoro fan. Be worried, folks. Be really, really worried. And I'm going to end it there. I'm really worried about it, and I'm going to keep researching it, and I'm going to keep on these channelers. And I hope you do the same. But if you get anything out of this, forget the aliens. Write your congressmen and write your senators and tell them that what you think. Let them know. Nobody's writing these guys, and these guys are getting away with murder, and they have been for over 60 years now. Look at the voting record of the fascist party, which to the uninitiated is the Democratic Party. They've been killing you, making you victims. Just write your politicians, even if you live in freaking Ghana. Write your politician if you're listening to this on a computer. That means you have a source. Get on it. E.T. is scaring the living hell out of me, and he should be scaring the hell out of you. So stay tuned, and we'll see what happens with these clowns. That's it for now. Transmission over.